The smallest, brightest. It's like that 15th verse of Sri Shupnishad. Uh, हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्य पिहितं मुखं तत्त्वं भूषणपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टे. So Lord, please remove your dazzling effulgence so that your devotee can take your darshan. Prakash darshan is there. So Srimad Bhagwatam, we'll sing that. Where is it? Hmm. घनमोर नित्यानंद पति मोर गौरचंद्र प्राण मोर युगल किशोर अद्वैत आचार्य गदाधर मोर कुला नर हरि विलासी मोर अमरा वैष्णवेर पद आहे मोर स्नान केले अर्पण मोर वैष्णवेर नाम अर्पण मोर विचार करिया माने भक्ति रस आस्वादने विचार कर मध्यस्थ श्री भागवत पुराण मध्यस्थ भगवत पुराण वैष्णवेर उच्छिष्ट आहे मोर मन निष्ठा कृष्ण विराम में ते उल्लास वृंदावने च भूताः आहे मोरा मन वृंदावने मोहे दीना नरोत्तम दास धन मोर नित्यानंद अति मोर गौर चंद प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर अद्वैत आचार्य गदाधर मोर कुल अद्वैत नर हरि विलासी मोर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Powder. राधा कुंज बिहारी राधा कुंज बिहारी राधे जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय राय जय प्रभुपाद 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 गौरा हरिवाल निताय गौरा हरिवाल निताय एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणा अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरापुरी धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, गंगा मैया की, यमुना मैया की, भक्ति देवी की, श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की, श्री श्री गौर की, श्री कामदाय एकादशी की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our evening discussion on the topic of etiquettes of hearing Srimad Bhagwatam. The meaning of this song by Thakur Narottam Das Thakur Mahashay is Dhanamora Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is my wealth. Patimora Gaura Chandra. Lord Gaur Chandra is my master. Pranamora Yugala Kishore. The youthful divine couple is my life. Advaita Acharya Bala. Advaita Acharya is my strength. Gadadhar Mora Kula. Gadadhar is my family. Narhari Vilas E. More. Narhari Sarkar is my glory. So this is all spiritual identification. Hmm. Like we may say that I come from this family, that family. No, I come from Gadadhar Pandit's family. Gadadhar Pandit is none other than Srimati Radharani. So I am descendant of Srimati Radharani. In the same family I come. Vaishnavera Pada Dhuli Tahe Mora Snana Keli. The dust of the devotee's lotus feet is my bathing water. Not just cold water or hot water, but the dust from the devotee's lotus feet is my bathing water. Tarpan Mora Vaishnaveranam. The chanting of the devotees' names is my satisfaction. Vichara Koriya Mane Bhakti Rasa Aswadani. Considering the merits of all Vedic literatures in the light of devotional service, I have concluded that Madhyastha Shri Bhagavat Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the best of all scriptures. Vaishnavera Uchishta Tahemora Mananishta. My mind is firmly convinced of the spiritual benefit obtained by eating the remnants of foodstuff left by the devotees. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Bhakta Pada Dhuli, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avashesha, Tina Mahabal. There are three things that give strength to one's devotional practices. The dust from the lotus feet of devotees, Bhakta Pada Dhuli, Bhakta Pada Jal, the foot wash from the devotees' lotus feet, and Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh, the remnants left behind by the devotees after they eat. So these three give tremendous powerful strength in one's devotional practices. By all means, one should accept that. Vaishnavera namete ullas. The names of the devotees are my happiness. So just taking the names of the devotees. Jai Jagdishwar Mohan Prabhu ki jai, Priya Arjun Prabhu ki jai, Radhesham Prabhu ki jai, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu ki jai, Gaurang Prabhu ki jai. Like that, just names only you keep chanting, all spiritual names. That should give you happiness. The names of the devotees are my happiness. Vrindavane Chabutara, Tahe Mora Managhera. The land of Vrindavan is the enclosure within which I keep my mind. Kohe Dina Narottam Das. Poor-hearted Narottam Das speaks in this way. Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya ki jai. So welcome once again to our evening discussion on the topic of etiquettes of hearing Srimad Bhagwatam. We understand we are not these bodies, we are spirit souls, we come from spiritual world. In this material world, which is Dukhalayam, we suffer unlimitedly after many lifetimes. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. One who is in knowledge, Jnanavan, Mam Prapadyate, surrenders to Krishna. Understanding Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, is end all and be all. Samhatma Sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. But still, we are made one such fortunate people, some such fortunate people by Srila Prabhupada's grace. So now we have to understand how to practice bhakti, which is very dear to the Lord. Lord is called as Bhakta Vatsal. He is dear. He loves his devotees. He is not Karmi Vatsal, Jnani Vatsal, Yogi Vatsal, but Bhakta Vatsal. He loves his devotees. Sadhavo Rudayam Mayham Sadhunam Rudayam tu Aham Yadanyat Madanyate na Jananti Naham Tebhyo Managapi. Sadhus are always in my heart, and I am in the hearts of sadhus. I don't know anyone but my devotees, and devotees don't know anyone but me. Such intimate relationship exists between the Lord and his devotees. So when we are practicing bhakti, there are some very important items. Like we know, bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. 9 processes of devotional service, of which the first two are topmost, most important, Shravanam and Kirtanam. In that, Shravanam forms the foundation, hearing about the Lord, hearing about the Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, mainly Nam, Roop, Guna, Lila. All these are very wonderfully explained in the Vedic literatures, in particular in Srimad Bhagwatam, which is considered to be the king of all the Vedic literatures. So thus, Srimad Bhagwatam hearing is very, very important. Of all the 9 processes of devotional service, Srila Rupa Goswami mercifully elaborated them in 64 limbs of devotional service. Because 9 may seem small, and one may not be exactly clear as to what is Pada Sevanam, what is Archanam, what is Vandanam. So that's why they are extended in 64 regulative principles by Srila Rupa Goswami. Ado Guru Padashraya. In the beginning, accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Sri Krishna Nama, Sri Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam. Accepting Diksha from the spiritual master and instructions from the spiritual master. Diksha and Shiksha. Essence of Diksha is Shiksha, but both. Then third is Vishrambhena Gurur Seva. Serving the spiritual master with great faith and confidence, determination. Fourth is Sadhu Vartmanu Vartmanam, following in the footsteps of saintly devotees. And like that, the list goes on. Japa, Kirtan, Lila Smaranam, and dancing for the Lord, accepting Charanamrut, circumambulating the deity, celebrating festivals, in particular celebrating Janmashtami. So there are 64. But then 64 may also look too much. As such, if you attend morning program in any ISKCON temple from 4:30 till around 9:30, you complete at least 41 items of these 64 regulative principles. So it's a wonderful gain, but then still few remain anyway, because celebrating Janmashtami is one of the 64 regulative principles. Janmashtami will happen in ISKCON temple only once in a year. So we have to be present on that day for morning program. Then it will become one more extra addition. Instead of 41, it will become 42 then. But then still 64 appears too many. So that's why Srila Rupa Goswami has condensed it into 5, called as Panchanga Bhakti, Panchanga, fivefold devotional practices. He says, Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathuravasa, Srimurtira, Shraddhaya Sevan. Sadhu Sangha, associating with the saintly devotees. Nama Kirtan, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Shravan, hearing Srimad Bhagwatam. Mathuravas, residing in Mathura, that is Sri Vrindavan Dham, at least mentally, if not physically. Physically, we may go once in a year during Kartik month for a few days, but otherwise, mind should be always kept in Sri Vrindavan Dham. I lost my heart in Vrindavan. Not just purchasing T-shirt and wearing it every day, but on the heart, it should be like, this heart belongs to Vrindavan. I lost my heart in Vrindavan. Only my gross body came to Burla, to Vice. The heart remained in Vrindavan only, like that. And Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan, worshipping, serving the deities with great faith. These are the 5 most important items. If one cannot perform all 64, one can just do all these 5, or even 4, or even 3, or even 2, or even 1, and one will become pure devotee. But that one should be done unlimitedly. In 2018, I believe I met His Holiness Bhakti Rasam Swami Maharaj. I took his appointment and met him in the sannyasi room, asked him a few questions, and then I asked that Maharaj, I have completed 18 years ashram. What should be my goal? And immediately he said to become pure devotee. Then I again thought I'll better ask again. So I said, Maharaj, so many 18 years are over. What should be my goal? Again he said to become pure devotee. He did not allow me to complete the question. So then I kept quiet. I thought, okay, Lord wants me to just accept this. So then next year he came again. He was staying in Barsana building, one of the flats. Again I took appointment, went to his flat and said, Maharaj, last year you instructed me the goal of my life should be to become pure devotee. I have some idea as to how to become pure devotee, but I want to hear from your lotus mouth. What do you mean by becoming pure devotee? What am I supposed to do? Then he said that Panchang Bhakti, Srila Rupa Goswami says in Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavad Shravan, Mathuravasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. These 5 things you do unlimitedly. Just work on these 5, and that will make sure that you become pure devotee in this very life. I said, thank you very much, Maharaj. Now I'm very clear. No 6th thing, only 5 things. And that's what I will target, I will focus on. So when we have devotee Sangha, it makes us very clear what should be the goal and how to achieve. So Bhagavad Shravan is very important. Bhagavad is non-different from Krishna. Krishna as such has 3 manifestations in this world now also. One is for our gross body. We have 3 things: body, mind, and words. For engaging these 3, Krishna also accordingly appears. For engaging our body, he appears in the form of the Archa Vigraha, the deity form. Pratimana hetu me sakshat Brajendra Nandan. The junior Brahmin, you know the Sakshi Gopal story, when he had to get the Lord from Mathura to South India, Vidyanagar, where both of them, the elderly Brahmin and younger Brahmin, were staying for witnessing as a witness. So he went and said, "Oh Lord, please come as a witness. You are witness, what transpired, what that elderly Brahmin had taken an oath." So Lord said, "But we don't find deities walking. How can I walk?" Then he said, "Oh Lord, we don't find deities talking also, but you are talking. So if you can talk, why can't you walk? Now walk your talk." He challenged the Lord only. So Lord said, okay. And he said that time, Pratima nahe tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. You are not a stone, some effigy, some form, some idol. You are directly son of Nanda Maharaj. So please come as a witness. So Lord agreed, and Lord walked behind him thousands of kilometers. So thus, Lord comes, and when he comes in the form of deity, then he gives us so many services. With our body we can worship him. All the articles are there. We can pay obeisances to him. We can glorify him. So many things we can do. We can arrange festivals. In festivals we cook, we decorate the temple, and we make garlands for the Lord for offering him. গাঁথিয়া মালা তীর মালা দিব দোহার গলে আধারে তুলিয়া দিব কর্পূর তাম্বুলে. So here you can see how he sing nicely. Ganthiya mala tir mala, multi flowers. I will make them into nice garland. And dibo dohar gole. I'll offer one garland to Srimati Radharani and one to Lord Krishna. Adhare tuliya dibo karpura tambule. I will make nice tambul, betel nut, mixed with karpur, with camphor, fragrant camphor, and I'll fold it nicely. And adhare tuliya dibo, to your lotus leaves I'll offer that. So we get a lot of physical services wherever deities manifest. So many services for so many devotees. So that is one form of the Lord. Second is we have vacha. So for that Lord appears in the form of Srimad Bhagwatam. कृष्णे स्वधाम उपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलौ नष्टदृशामेष पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः. When Krishna left this material world towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, after staying here for 125 plus years, with knowledge, with religion, dharmadhyana saha, then all the population of Kali Yuga was put to dense darkness, because with knowledge, with religion, light went away. Knowledge went away. Knowledge is compared to light. That's why Bharat. Bharat means what? Rat means engaged in. Bha means Prabha. Prabha means light. Light means knowledge. Tamasima Jyotirgamay. Go from darkness to light. Go from ignorance to knowledge. So that country in which all the citizens are engaged in acquiring knowledge, transcendental knowledge, that country is called a Bharat. Unfortunately, now we are only interested in technology. 3G, 4G, 5G, 108G, that will develop. Then everybody will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. बोलो 108 बार जी Hare Krishna Mahamantra, like that. So this is fall down of Bharat. But as such, as we said, so when Krishna left with knowledge, religion, whole Kali Yuga population was put to darkness. To give them light, again Krishna has appeared in the form of a brilliant sun called as Srimad Bhagwatam. And Srimad Bhagwatam gives knowledge, gives light to all the people of Kali Yuga who are in darkness. So then we can read Srimad Bhagwatam, we can hear Srimad Bhagwatam, and we can speak it. We can narrate it, whatever we have heard to others. So our speaking ability is empowered through Krishna manifesting in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the third Krishna's manifestation is in the form of holy name. Kalikale nama rupe Krishna avatar, nama haite haya sarva jagata nistar. Krishna has appeared in the form of holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Nama haite haya sarva jagat anistar. If only people chant the holy name of the Lord, the whole world will be delivered. That's it. So we can use our mind. This is mantra. Manastrayate iti mantra. That which delivers the mind is called as mantra. So thus when Krishna appears in the form of holy name, it is direct engagement for the mind. That's why it's toughest devotional practice, chanting the holy name. Even singing is nice because so much music is there, beats, rhythm, and tal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Swar is also there. High pitch, low pitch. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So high pitch, low pitch, alap, vilap, pralap. It gives ecstasy. But in chanting, My God. So only Vilap. I have to chant 16 rounds now. Krishna, please liberate me from this chanting, not by this chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram. तो थोड़ा पानी दे दो, गला सूख गया मेरा, मर जाऊंगा मैं जब से. So difficult. Direct engagement for the mind, chanting of the holy name. So mind will be controlled, will come under subjugation. But the problem is, it's not so easy. But anyway, so Krishna comes in the form of Srimad Bhagwatam. And there is nice glorification of the verses of Srimad Bhagwatam in the first canto of Srimad Bhagwatam, second chapter. Verse number 14, second chapter. He says, तस्मादेकेन मनसा भगवान् सात्वतां पतिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यश्च ध्येयः पुच्छश्च नित्यदा. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. So, for hearing, Srimad Bhagavatam is the best. यद् अनुध्यासिना युक्तः कर्मग्रन्थि निबन्धनं छिन्दन्ति को विदास्तस्य को न कुर्यात् कथारतिम्. With sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? So, karma granthi nibandhanam, by anudhyasina, by remembrance. Anudhya is remembrance. So remembrance has to be there, but how will remembrance be? Remembrance will come when we hear about the Lord. So with sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work by remembering the personality of God. शुश्रूषो श्रद्धानस्य वासुदेव कथा रुचिः सान्महत् सेवया विप्रः पुण्यतीर्थ निषेवणात्. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. Vasudeva Katharuchi. Hearing the message of the Lord is very important for all of us. And how will that happen? Shushrusho Shraddhadanasya. By serving great souls, great service is done. And one becomes free from all the vices. Burla vice also. It is VOIC, but here it is VIC. Yes, O is missing. So we should become free from voice also. Anyway, after final year, we become free. That is becomes another voice, another problem. I am from this voice, Remuna voice, Giri Govardhan Dham voice, and Mayapur voice, Vrindavan voice, Jagannath Puri voice, and n number of voices. So we have to become free from voices, VIC voices. So by serving great devotees, great service is done, and by that one becomes freed from all vices. By that one gains affinity for hearing the messages of the Lord, Supreme Lord, Vasudeva. शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्तु ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्. Shrunatam Sakata Krishna. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So Krishna personally cleanses our heart. This is the topmost benefit. Krishna enters, Krishna has to enter in our heart. Paramatma is residing in our heart. Every life that we had in this 8.4 million species of life, multiple times, and we pass through Anantakoti Brahmandas. Every time Paramatma is with us, but he will never purify our heart. Never. That is not his job. Mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He gives only knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. He doesn't clean our heart. That is not his job. That is the job of the Supreme Lord Krishna only. That's why you'll find everywhere the name Krishna only comes. Shrunataha swakataha Krishna. Directly Krishna comes. Not Bhagwan, not Brahman, nothing. No Paramatma. Directly Krishna. So Shushrusho Shraddha Danasya Vasudeva Katharuchi. So one has to hear message of Krishna. Krishna comes through Shabda Brahma, this transcendental sound vibration. To the two entry points are there for him, two ear holes, and he enters through these ears in our heart, and he vidunoti, he cleanses. Why? Suhrut Satam, Satam for the devotees. Suhrut, he is heart to heart friend. He loves his devotees, but we have to show our love for him by hearing his message unlimitedly. We should hear. Then he will do that wonderfully. There is no doubt that he would not clean our heart. He will. Then 1 to 18 he says, Nashta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Nashta prayeshu badreshu. Our anarthas in our heart are mainly three. Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamagun. In that also two are the worst. Passion and ignorance. These have to reduce to 25%. Now they are something like 70%, 80%, 90, 95, 96, 97, 99, maybe 100%. So from this, they have to reduce to 25%. That means 75% of passion and ignorance has to be out. That means your anartha nivrutti stage is over. And you enter in nishtha with 25% of passion and ignorance. That is required because you have to sleep also in the night. Otherwise, you are the most enlightened soul in the night. I got realization. Hi, Hari bol, Prabhu, उठो. बताता हूँ चीज है. अरे हमें तो सोने दो. So such highly enlightened souls are not required in the voice. It will be another voice then, which should eliminate it. So 25% is okay. One should feel sleepy in the night. And for doing some service also, some passion is required. So that is fine, 25%. So Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Anathas are reduced to almost 25%. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Nityam. That means 24 hours actually. But Prabhupada is very merciful and he says by regular attendance in Srimad Bhagwatam classes, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely eradicated. Prayeshu. So that is concession by Mahabhagavat, pure devotee. That he is saying that at least Nityam means every day. So every day attend morning Bhagwatam class, which goes on in temples. Also in the voices we have discussions, which are based on Gita Bhagavad only. So thus, if we do that, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, towards the Supreme Lord, Bhaktir Bhavati. Bhakti will develop. What kind of bhakti? Naishtiki. Nishtha one will enter. Before Anatha Nivrutti is also Bhajana Kriya only. And after Anatha Nivrutti is also Bhajana Kriya only. But the difference is before Anatha Nivrutti it is Anishtita Bhajana Kriya. That means unsteady devotional practices. What makes it unsteady are the passion and ignorance. And after Anatha Nivrutti is called as Nishtita Bhajana Kriya, steady devotional practice. What makes it steady? Absence or almost 75% removal of passion and ignorance makes devotional service very steady. That's what is required. Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Then in 19 he says Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobha Dayasyaye Chetayeterana Vidham Stitam Sattve Prasidati. Tada, then, Kada Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Yada Tada, then. When you are always hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or reading Srimad Bhagavatam, then what will happen? Rajastamo Bhavaha, the influence of the modes of material nature of passion and ignorance, characterized by Kama Lobha Adayasya, lust and greed, etc. All six cannot be written in just that one line of the 4 lines. So he is briefing it, but in a very perfect way, because passion is characterized by lust. So he's saying kama. And ignorance is characterized by lobha. So lobha. Kama, lobha, adayasya, etc., etc., etc. That means anger, uh, then pride, illusion, and envy. Other four are not mentioned. two are mentioned, one symbolizing passion and other ignorance. Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayashe chetayete rana viddham. When the consciousness is thus purified, sitam satve prasidati. One is situated in the mode of goodness, and thus one is very blissful. Hmm? If you are in the mode of goodness, you are cheerful, you are blissful. That's what is required. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Brahma bhut. If you realize you are not body, you are spirit soul. This is realized by Brahmanas. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. He says, Janmana jayate shudro. By birth, everybody is Shudra, Loban. Samskarat bhavet dvija. There are 40 samskaras mentioned in the Vedas, Puranas, of which 10 are most important. Dashaveda sanskar, starting with Garbhadan sanskar, then Jatakarma sanskar, then Namakarana sanskar, then Anya Prashan sanskar, then Vidyaramba sanskar, Karna Chedan sanskar, Vivaha sanskar, and ultimately Antim sanskar. So 10 are very important. Anybody who undergoes these 10 sanskaras is called a Dvija, twice born. Second birth. First birth is called a seminal birth, Shukra Janma, by the semen of the man inserted into the womb of the woman. The woman becomes pregnant after 9 months, the child is born. So this is seminal birth, Shukra Janma, which everybody has, including cats, dogs, camels, horses, all animals also. So that is not so special. But second Janma is very important through Upanayan Sanskar. He says, Janmana Jayate Shudro Samskarat Bhavet Dvija. When these 10 sanskaras are done, one becomes twice born, Dvija. And Veda Patanat Bhavet Vipra. After Upanayan Sanskar, that Dvija is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya boys in Gurukul as Brahmacharis. They are learning Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master. Veda Patanat. When they do Veda Patan, reading of the scriptures, hearing of the scriptures, Bhavet Vipra, they become Vipra. And Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Of all these boys, one or two or few, those who realize I am not this body, Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body, material body. I am spirit soul, Satchidananda. One who realizes it fully is called as Brahman. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. So Brahman realizes I am not this body. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. That's why it is said in the society, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashchid Yatati Siddhai. One among the 1,000 tries to know me, Krishna says. And out of such 1,000 people, one actually knows me. It's very, very rare. From 1,001, from this 1,001, from this 1,001, from one. So one, like that 1,000, from that one person understands Krishna. And what are these 1,000 people? 900 Shudras, 90 Vaishyas, 9 Kshatriyas, and 1 Brahmin. That is 1,000. So in 1,000 persons, one is Brahmin, not born by birth, but by inclination, by his guna and karma, by his qualities and by his activities. So such a Brahmin is interested in knowing the supreme absolute truth. But unfortunately, most of the Brahmanas end up by having the impersonal realization of the Lord. But at least, okay, they head somewhere at least. So he says, Brahma Bhuta, one who understands I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Prasannatma is cheerful. Na shochati na kankshati. He does not lament. Shochati. That is a characteristic of ignorance. Shudra. Shudras are always crying. Oh, this did not happen nicely. Oh, that should have been done. Oh, I forgot that. Oh, this, oh, that. So they keep lamenting throughout day, throughout life. That is a Shudra. Anybody who keeps lamenting, first of all, he commits mistakes. And that's why he's lamenting. So he doesn't rectify the mistake, rather he keeps lamenting. So such a person is called as a Shudra. These are all characteristics well defined in the scriptures. So he says, Veda this one, na shochati, na kankshati. And those who hanker, oh, if only this could happen. I wish this happens, or I wish I go to London or Cambridge University and this and that. So this is all passion. So he is either lamenting in ignorance or hankering in the mode of passion. And thus he is never in the present tense. He keeps lamenting about the past misdeeds, past mistakes, and he is hankering for future glorious thing. So thus he never lives in present tense. One who lives in the present tense, he is called as Brahmin. He is in the mode of goodness. And that is very much required. Then one will not commit mistakes. Otherwise, one goes in the future, he will commit mistake in the present. Just today afternoon, I was hearing one short clip of Srila Prabhupada, audio clip, about the name is the Potter. I just was interested, what is that? So then I had saved that audio clip. But after hearing in 1 minute, then I understood. Prabhupada says that there was a man who would sell pots. So he had some 1 or 2 pots. He was going to another city to sell it. And on the way, he was thinking, after selling this pot for more cost, I will have some profit. With that, I will make more pots and I'll sell them for more profit. Then I will have more pots, I'll sell them, and eventually I'll be very rich. Then I will marry, and my wife will be very obedient to me. And in case she does not obey to me, I'll just kick her, get lost. And in the dreaming stage, he just kicked the pots broke down. So thinking about future, glorious future, in the present tense, he had lost. He committed great mistake of breaking those pots. He was supposed to sell and earn a lot of money profit. So this is how people in the those who are in passion and ignorance, they commit mistakes. So one needs to be in the mode of goodness. So that will happen when we are in the when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Sitam Satve, one will be situated in the mode of goodness, and Prasidati, one will be very happy, very blissful. So that other two lines say, Samas Sarveshu Bhuteshu. These are internal characteristics. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kangshati. How to understand who is lamenting, who is hankering. That is difficult to make out. So that's why external symptom is explained. Samah Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He has equal disposition towards all living entities. He treats everyone equally. Not that this is rich man, let me give him more attention. He's poor, I don't care for him. He's educated, oh, let me cultivate him. And this fellow is illiterate, I don't bother about him. So it's not such kind of vishamta, such kind of unfair dealings or partial dealings are not there with person who's in the mode of goodness. He deals with everyone equally because he knows everybody is child of Krishna. His soul, the body externally just as per the karma. That is not so important. The soul is important. He's child of Krishna. So thus we have to come to this level of mode of goodness, and that will happen by practicing, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam daily. By all means, we should study this. In the Nectar of Devotion also, Prabhupada writes, where he explains this Panchanga Bhakti, and in particular about Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, this is recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam among devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is the desire tree of Vedic wisdom. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukadh amruta samvitam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. He says that all the Vedic literatures are compared to a desire fulfilling tree. Nigama kalpataror phalar shukamukad amruta drava samyutam. Srimad Bhagavatam is like ripened fruit. When on a tree, fruit is ripened, how to know? The parrot touches it, tests it. So then we can understand this fruit has to be sweet. And that same parrot of Srimad Radharani came as Shukdev Goswami. So Shukdev Goswami tested Srimad Bhagavatam first. So it was already ripened fruit, and after Shukdev Goswami tested, that means narrated it, it became all the more sweet. Shuka mukhat amruta drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam. This is rasamalayam, is sweet ras. Krishna Prem ras is filled in Srimad Bhagavatam. So pibata bhagavatam, drink this transcendental nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. Muhuroho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Oh my dear audience, please relish this nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the appeal in the third verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, that everybody should test. This is Mangala Charan, third verse. All means every day we should relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the glorification, Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagavatam is the desired tree of Vedic wisdom. Veda itself means the aggregate of knowledge, and whatever knowledge is required for human society is perfectly presented in Srimad Bhagwatam. There are different branches of knowledge in the Vedic writings, including sociology, politics, medicine, and military art. All these and other branches of knowledge are perfectly described in the Vedas. So, as far as spiritual knowledge is concerned, that is also perfectly described there. And Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the ripened fruit of this desire fulfilling tree of the Vedas. A tree is honored by the production of its fruit. For example, a mango tree is considered very valuable because it produces the king of all fruits, the mango. When the mango fruit becomes ripened, it is the greatest gift of that tree. And Srimad Bhagavatam is similarly held to be the ripened fruit of the Vedic tree. And as ripened fruit becomes more relishable when first touched by the beak of a parrot or shuka, Srimad Bhagavatam has become more relishable by being delivered through the transcendental mouth of Shukdev Goswami. Srimad Bhagavatam should be received in disciplic succession without any breakage. If fruit ripens on the tree, it falls on the ground. And when it falls on the ground, it may burst open, get mixed with the soil. Then how can we test it? So the way is Guru Parampara. The topmost person, let's say Brahmaji is on the top branch, and Krishna is giving him that mango. And then below Brahma, there is Narad Muni. He gives to Narad Muni in the hand, on the tree only. And then below Narad Muni is Vedvyas. He receives. Then Vedvyas gives to Madhvacharya. And then he gives down, 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 down. And Prabhupada gives to his disciples, and they give to us. And we have to give to our disciples and carry forward that parampara. And thus the fruit doesn't fall to the ground, doesn't mix with the soil, and doesn't become then detestable. It is very sweet. It's intact. All rus is intact because it doesn't burst open, because it's handed down very carefully from guru to disciple, from disciple to his disciple, and goes down. When Srimad Bhagavatam, when received in the parampara system or disciplic succession, will likewise remain unbroken. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that the disciplic succession or parampara is the way of receiving transcendental knowledge. Evam parampara praptam, uh, evam parampara praptam, imam rajarshayo viduhu. Sal kale ne hum atha yoga nashta paranta. So evam parampara praptam. So in parampara, this comes down. Such knowledge must come down through the disciplic succession, through authorized persons who know the real purpose of the Shastra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended that one learn Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of the realized person called Bhagavat. Bhagavata Podogiya Bhagavata Sthane. Read Grantha Bhagavat by being sheltered under a Vyakti Bhagavat. There are two types of Bhagavat. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, always sir. Bhagavat means always sir Grantha Bhagavat, that is book Bhagavat, keep reading 24 hours. In Tokyo Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada said that you must read my books 24 hours a day. I do that. Twice he says. I read my books 24 hours a day. And you should also read my books 24 hours a day. Like that. Another lecture, Prabhupada said, the austerity is to read my books 3 hours every day. His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was explaining. Hopefully that includes 1 hour of morning Bhagavatam class and 1 hour of evening Bhagavad Gita class. Supposing at least brahmacharis attend 1 hour Bhagavatam class in the temple, and they attend 1 hour Bhagavad Gita class in the evening, and daytime they do their personal reading of Bhagavatam for 1 hour. So 3 hours are completed in that. Though Prabhupada doesn't explain that, Maharaj explained like that out of compassion on all of us. But if we have to read every day 3 hour Bhagavatam, then we may wonder what to do. Anyway, Tokyo is the biggest challenge. 24 hours we have to read Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, Prabhupada's books. So we should do that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Aradhyu Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachita Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Dharana Para. This is very nice verse. He says, Aradhyu Bhagavan Vrajeshatanas. Of all the worshipable lords, Bhagavans, topmost is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, and the topmost dham is Tad Dham, his dham, that is Vrindavanam. Tad Dham Vrindam. Ramya Kachita Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita. And topmost worship of this topmost Lord is as done in the topmost Dham of Vrindavan by the topmost devotees, the gopis, Vrajavadhus. The way they worshipped Krishna in Madhurya Ras. This is topmost. Unnata Ujjwala Rasa. Swabhakti Shriyam. Srimad Bhagwatam Pramanam Amalam. Srimad Bhagwatam is the spotless proof of this description, what is told in the first two lines. Prema Pumartho Mahan. Because Srimad Bhagwatam discards Purushartha. Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. Vedyam Vastamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayom Mulanam. In the second verse itself, third verse we discussed, Nigama Kalpataror. Second verse before that says Dharma Projita Kaitavatra. All kinds of cheating religions are kicked out from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. No question of Bhagavatam doesn't talk about Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Four Purusharthas. Dharma is religion, Artha is economic development, Kama is sense gratification, and Moksha is Mukti. So all four are kicked out. Char Purusharth. So Pancham Purushartha, Prema Pumartho Mahan. Pum Artho or Purushartha is same thing. Not Dharma, not Artha, not Kam, not Moksha, but Krishna Prem. That is Pancham Purushartha. Prema. Prema Pumartho Mahan. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam. This is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tatra Dharana Para. Nothing superior than this. This is the topmost. So thus we should read Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended that one learn Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of the self-realized person called Bhagavatam. That is Vyakti Bhagavat, person Bhagavat. Bhagavat means in relationship with the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. So in relation with Bhagavan, so Bhagavat. So the devotee is sometimes called Bhagavatam. And the book which is in relationship with devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also called Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended that in order to relish the real taste of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should take instruction from the person Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is relishable even by a liberated person. Shukdev Goswami admitted that although he was liberated from within the very womb of his mother, it was only after relishing Srimad Bhagavatam that he became a great devotee. Thus, one who is desirous of advancing in Krishna consciousness should relish the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam through the discussions of authorized devotees. There are two impersonalists that are described in Srimad Bhagavatam only. One are the four Kumaras, the four sons of Brahma, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. They were impersonalists. In their search of the absolute truth, they once entered in Vaikuntha. 6 gates they easily crossed, but at the 7th gate, Jai Vijay stopped. And there was a quarrel between the two parties. There was cursing. Then the four Kumaras cursed the Vaikuntha gatekeepers that may you be born on earth 3 times as demons. So hearing all this commotion at the 7th gate, Lord Narayan came, who was inside. So when he came, wind blew, and with the wind blowing, the tulsi which was offered at the divine lotus feet of the Lord, it carried fragrance. The fragrance entered in the nostrils of the four Kumaras. Tasya nayanasya padaravinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu sanshobham akshara jutyam apichitta tanvo स अंतर्गत विवरेण चकार तेषाम संक्षोभम अक्षर जुषाम api chitta tanvo. So when the wind blew and carried the fragrance of tulsi on the lotus feet of Lord Narayan, it entered through the nostrils. Antargatena vivarena chakara tesham. It created a revolution in their heart, positive agitation. Sankshobham, akshara jusham. They were attached to the impersonal conception of the Lord. Apichitta tanvo. In their body and mind, they experienced agitation, positive sense. They became devotees just by smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered at the lotus feet of Lord Narayan, who was still inside. He was just coming. And other cases of that of Shukdev Goswami, he was in the womb of his mother, Vyasdev's wife. He was not coming out. 16 years passed by. In the 9th month, child gets delivered. But he, after 16 years also was not coming out. Vyasdev had to go all the way to Dwarka, inform Krishna, request him to come. Krishna came. I said, my dear child, why are you inside? Please come out. It has been long time. Your mother is suffering. Please get delivered now. He says, no, my lord. There is so much of Maya, illusory potency outside if I come. So better I be inside. There is suffering here, but that is better because I am remembering you. So Lord said, don't worry. You come out. I give you assurance. You will be born liberated soul. You'll never get be touched by Maya. So with this assurance, uh, the child came out. And Lord also told Vasudev that this child speaks very nicely, like a parrot. So name him Shukdev. Krishna only gave him the name. So then the child came out, but then the problem was he was liberated soul from birth. So liberated means no bodily conception of life. Because of bodily conception of life only, we identify our mother and father to be our mother and father. He could not identify the lady from whose womb I took birth to be his wife, mother, and the man who impregnated her, that is Vasudev, to be his father. He just left for forest, and Vasudev is running. Arey, mother, his wife, she delivered child, so she has the labor pain. She's in the room only. But Vasudev kept running, hey, son, putra, putra, putra. But this putra was kind of deaf only. He was not able to identify. Somebody is calling me as son. Only the trees in the jungle had similar feelings. But they also lost their children. With pollination, and the flowers fly, and with that, the seeds take birth in some other place, away from the trees. So, trees also are in separation from their children. So, they were also echoing, Putra, Putra, Putra. And then in the forest, as they understood, on the way, he saw naked girls taking bath in a pond with absolutely no clothes on the body. But because he was in not in bodily concept of life, when he looked at their naked bodies, it made no difference to him because he did not see the naked bodies. He saw only the soul, and all souls are equal, so that did not make any difference to him. He just continued walking. Shukdev Goswami, Vasudev was surprised. My God, when Vasudev came, immediately the girls covered their private parts, their bodies with clothes, and they asked. He asked, when my son, who is of your age, 16-year young lad, he came, you did not cover your bodies, you remained naked. And when I come, who is like grandfather's age, why did you cover? Then they said, your son is a liberated soul. He doesn't see the body at all. He sees only the soul. But you are a grahastha. You make differentiation that this is male body, this is female body. Your son doesn't make any difference like that. He is completely liberated soul. So we did not feel any need to cover our bodies, but because of you being in the bodily concept of life, we had to cover our bodies. Anyway, as they found his son to be free from bodily concept of life, then he sent one of his disciples who came in the form of a woodcutter. He was cutting wood and he was singing beautiful verses of Srimad Bhagwatam, Barhavatam, uh, not Barhapidam Natvaroko, I think, Karnayo Karnikaram, that one, and uh, Ahobakiyam Stanakalaputam. So these two verses particularly attracted Shukdev Goswami. He came back, he learned Bhagavatam from his father Vyasdev, and then he, being a liberated soul, Atmagyani, Atmaram, from that he became a devotee. So Shrimad Bhagavatam verses converted a self-realized Atmagnani, Shukdev Goswami, born liberated soul, into a devotee. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Kurvanti Haitukim Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Gunahari. Even those who are self-satisfied, Atma Ramas, they also get charmed, attracted to Krishna. Especially Krishna, the way he is presented in Shrimad Bhagavatam. And Shukdev Goswami is the test for this. So Shrimad Bhagavatam is very important. By reading that, one who is desirous of advancing in Krishna consciousness should relish the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam through the discussions of authorized devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter, verse 9, Shukdev Goswami admits that although he was very much attracted by the impersonal Brahman, when he heard the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the mouths of his father Vyasdev, he became more attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. The idea is that Vyasdev was also a self-realized soul, and his mature contribution of transcendental knowledge was delivered directly to Shukdev Goswami in the manner indicated. So thus Bhagavatam becomes very, very important. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. We should regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam. There are glories of Srimad Bhagavatam as recited by Srila Sanatan Goswami in his famous book Sri Krishna Lila Stava. So there are 5 verses around 412 to 416 in which he glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam in around 5 verses. So the first one he says, सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैक दृक्पद. So he says, O Srimad Bhagwatam, you are the essence, you are the nectar from the ocean of all the scriptures. Sarva Shastra Abdi, ocean of all the scriptures. Piyusha, you are the nectar. Sarva Vedaika Satpalaha, and you are the topmost fruit of all the Vedas. Only and topmost fruit of all the Vedas. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, you are the you are filled with many transcendental gems from the spiritual truths that are there in the Vedic literatures. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, Sarva Lokaika Drukpada, Dukprada. And in entire world, you give to entire world, you give transcendental vision. Drukprada. Druk means vision. Prada. Lokeka. Sarva Lokeka. To the entire world. You give that transcendental vision. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha, Sarva Vedaika Satpala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, Sarva Lokaika Drukpada. Second verse he says, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabho, Kali Dhvanto Ditatitya, Shri Krishna Parivartita. Sarva Bhagavata Prana. O Srimad Bhagavatam Prabho, O my master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the life of all the Vaishnav devotees. Sarva Bhagavata Prana. Kali Dhvanta Udita Aditya. In to remove the darkness of Kali Yuga, you have come in the form of this very brilliant sun of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Krishna Parivartita. And you are directly incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. In the third verse, he says, Madeka Bandho Mad Sangin Mad Guru Man Mahabdhana Mananistaraka Mad Bhagya Madananda Namostute. Namastute. He says, O Srimad Bhagavatam, you are only my friend. Madeka Bandho. Mad Sangin, you are my companion. Mad Guru, my guru. Man Mahadhana, you are my great wealth. Man Nistaraka, you are my deliverer. Mad Bhagya, you are my fortune. Mad Ananda, you are directly bliss for me. Namastu Te, I offer my obeisances to you. Madeka Bandho Mad Sangin Mad Guru Man Mahadhana Man Nistaraka Mad Bhagya Madananda Namostu Te. Then the last fourth verse he says, Asadhu sadhu tadayin ati nichochataraka hanamuncha kadachin mam prema hrut kantha fullame. He says, Asadhu sadhu tadayin. To asadhus, those who are non-saintly, you give saintliness. You make non-saintly people into saintly people. Ati nichocha taraka, and you deliver even the worst of the lowest of the people. Hanamuncha kadachin mam, hanamuncha kadachin mam prema rut kantha fullame. He's saying that you please always manifest yourself fully in my heart and in my throat. You manifest pure Krishna prem, with Krishna prem in my heart and in my throat. Hana muncha kadachin mam prema rut kantha fullame. Like that. So these are the four verses 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 also. So thus Srimad Bhagavatam is glorified by Sanatana Goswami, who wrote Shri Bruhat Bhagavatamrita. After around 6.5 days of narration by Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj before his death, then after narrating all that, Shukdev Goswami left that place. Now only half day is remaining around. That time Mother Uttara came running to her son. Parikshit, Parikshit, my dear son, no, I will have separation from you. You will leave the world today. Please narrate to me the Amrut nectar that you tasted from the lotus lips of Shukdev Goswami. He heard in 6.5 days. How can he tell his mother in half day? So what he told was something else called as Shri Bruhat Bhagavatamrit. That is in 2500 verses. Two stories are there prominently in that. So that is written by Srila Sanatan Goswami, and he himself has given commentary to that. So that's why he greatly appreciates Srimad Bhagavatam literature. So what are the etiquettes of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? We should hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Ideally 24 hours a day, but if not, just like Prabhupada said, by regular attendance in Srimad Bhagavatam classes. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost removed. So every day we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and preferably in the morning hours, before 9 o'clock. Then in the mood of a student and servant. Srimad Bhagavatam is our master. With this understanding, if we approach Srimad Bhagavatam, then our master will reveal to us in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam only. If you read first canto, third chapter, last verse, in which it is said, Tatra kirtayato vipra viprarshir bhuri tejasah aham chadhyagamam tatra nivishtashtad anugrahat soham vaha shrava ishyami yatha dhitam yatha mati. O learned Brahmins, when Shukdev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, Suta Goswami saying. And thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I heard it, as I learned it from him, and as I have realized it. Yatha dhitam yatha mati. So Prabhupada's purport is brilliant. At least 4 places he says, how if you hear from bona fide person Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna will manifest himself from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you seen some movies of ISKCON? There they show the book Bhagavatam opens up, and from inside Krishna's figure comes out and he's playing flute like that. How many of you seen? In the movie beginning, this comes. That's kind of what they call logo or something like that. So that is from this purport. Why that is shown? From the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna will manifest himself. Now you hear attentively the purport, you will see 4 times at least. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Shukdev Goswami. See, this is one place. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Shukdev Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages, see second place. That is the process, and there is no alternative. Suta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Shukdev Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahman. Shukdev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father, and so also Suta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Shukdev Goswami. Simply hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word Nivishta means that Suta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. See, third time. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. Are you hearing with rapt attention? If you are, that means you are pure in mind. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam, fourth place. So that's the end of the purport. 4 times Prabhupada is saying. So this is the way we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the mood of a student and in the mood of a servant. Shukdev, Sanatana Goswami so nicely. Madeka Bando, Mad Sangin, Mad Guru, Mad Mahadhan. So like that. Twameva mata cha pita twameva, twameva bandhuscha sakha twameva, twameva vidya dravinam twameva, twameva sarvam mama deva devo. That is referring to Krishna, and Krishna only has manifested in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam only is my father, Bhagavatam only is my mother, Bhagavatam only is my brother, Bhagavatam is only my friend, Bhagavatam is only my wealth, Bhagavad is only my relatives, Bhagavatam is my wealth and my knowledge, and Bhagavatam is my all demigods also. Bhagavatam is Indra, Bhagavatam is Chandra, Bhagavatam is Vayu, Bhagavatam is Varun, Bhagavatam is Agni, Bhagavatam is Ganesh, Bhagavatam is Durga, Bhagavatam is everyone. 33 crore demigods. So that kind of approach we should have. That is etiquette. Then Krishna will appear. Similarly, Prabhupada's mood that we should carry, we should read. So while we need to carry, because we don't all the time stay here. You'll go to college, you'll go to market. So we should carry Bhagavatam in our bag so that anywhere we get time in between for even half minute, we can take Bhagavatam out and start reading it. So we have to become coolies of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Prabhupada printed 3 volumes of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam within India, the third volume came out. He was in Vrindavan. It was fresh from the printing press. He opened it in front of his god brothers, Bon Maharaj and some 2, 3 more in Vrindavan. And he showed them, please have a look. This is the third volume of the first canto. And they were going through the pages. It was so amazing, so nice. So they were very happy. Taking opportunity of this moment that they were very happy with this production, third volume. All 3 volumes are there. So then Prabhupada said, so this Srimad Bhagavatam wants to go to West, to America, to preach Krishna's glories. And there is one coolie required. I wish to be that coolie. Do you have your blessings for me to accompany, to carry Srimad Bhagavatam? Then God brothers said, Swami Maharaj, you will not listen. We told you not to go to West, but you will not listen. Okay, you wish to go, you may go. So because they were in the happy mood, seeing just new production, latest production of Bhagavatam, just coming from the printing press. So then Prabhupada took advantage of their happy mood and said, Bhagavatam wants to go to West to preach Krishna's message, and there is a coolie required. I want to be the coolie. Do you have your permission? They said, okay, permitted, go ahead. So Prabhupada's mood was that I'm a coolie. Bhagavatam is going to preach. That's why tomorrow we'll see that, Bado Krupa Kele. So in that song, Prabhupada writes, it's a Bangla song. And in that, Prabhupada has inserted Sanskrit verses of this only. First canto, second chapter. Some of the verses we already saw. So what? It's an interruption. Bado Kripa Kaile Krishna Adamera Prati. Nice Bangla. And then suddenly you have to stop there, Nashta Prayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nash. You cannot sing in the same rhyme, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. That will not fit in properly. So it looks like interruption, but it's not interruption. That reveals Prabhupada's faith in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is going to preach in the Western countries. I'm just a coolie. So our mood should be that I am a coolie of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we should attend Srimad Bhagavatam with rapt attention. We should hear with rapt attention, as Prabhupada said. For that we should be pure in mind. For that we need to be pure in actions. We need to be pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That means eat only Krishna Prasadam at appropriate times in required quantity, not too much, too less. Then sleep only to recover day's exhaustion, so that next day we can serve the Lord with redoubled energy. And mating for those grahasthas for procreating child, sex for procreation and not for recreation. And defending, only defending Guru's mission, Guru's position, not about ourselves. We don't defend ourselves. We are nobody, no matter how many people insult us, we don't get agitated. Amanina manade. So like that mood is required. We should attend whole Bhagavatam class and make notes. That is also etiquette. That gives a respect to the message. Don't think, the person who is giving class, he got Brahmin initiated only 2 years back. What does he know? He was my batchmate only in Bhakti Shastri. And he got less marks. In sloka recitation particularly, I got more marks. So what does this fellow know? And today he is giving Bhagavatam. It's a big austerity. Like that is not proper. That way we are insulting Bhagavatam. He's sitting on Vyasasan. He's a representative of Vyasdevi. And Vyasdevi will inspire him to bring forth some very divine words of wisdom. And we can always, if we are hearing with rapt attention, we'll always get something. And Krishna personally will enter through our ear holes in the form of this transcendental sound vibration, the message of Bhagavatam, and he will cleanse our heart by regular attendance in Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So we should attend by all means. We should attend with all enthusiasm, in the mood of servant and in the mood of student, learning always. What's there for me to learn today? So many things to learn. So if that mood, with all these etiquettes, we read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll make so fast progress. Very soon, Krishna will manifest from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not only Krishna, Narad Muni will appear from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj will emerge. Prahlad Maharaj will emerge. Yudhishthir Maharaj will emerge. Sutta Goswami, Shukdev Goswami, Uddhav, Vidurji, Bhishma Dev, Kunti Maharani, n number of devotees, Maitreya Rishi, Bhagwan Kapil, Devahuti, Kardam Muni, who will not emerge. All the great devotees of the Lord, along with their respective lords, they will all manifest. They will all emerge from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you have proper attitude, they will be manifest. They are there already. Just our submissive approach is required. They can impart knowledge because they have seen the truth. Which truth? Absolute truth. The pure devotee spiritual master sees absolute truth, Param Satya, the Bhagwan feature at every moment. So if you approach him with Pranipat, Pariprashna Seva, submission, inquiry, and service, then he can impart knowledge because he has seen the truth, absolute truth, and we can also see the Lord at every moment if we approach the spiritual master with submission, inquiry, and service. So that is in essence the etiquettes of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Any question?
When we talk about hearing or reading Bhagavatam, so in our case, can like any book written by Prabhupada, like
Yes. You will find so many shlokas from Bhagavatam quoted there. Prabhupada is Vyakti Bhagavat, so he is giving Grantha Bhagavat in all his books also. So we should read all the books of Prabhupada, starting with small books, then medium, then big, then Mahabig. Prabhupada said, all must read all my books. Repeat. So all must read. So all of us should read all his books. Must what is there. So must. Make a list. In 5 days you'll read this book. In 10 days you'll read that book. And all the books in next 2, 3, 5, 6 years. Complete all the books. It's very easy. 41 pages of Srimad Bhagavatam you read every day. In 1 year, your Bhagavatam is over. Just 1 year. Okay, if it's too much, 20 pages you read daily. In 2 years it will be over. In 20 pages, lot many times that same shloka is there in Sanskrit as well as in English. Word to word meaning, if you don't want to read, you can skip it. Even shloka, if you want to skip, fine, not a big problem. Just read translation, purport, translation, purport. Don't skip purports. They are the devotional ecstasies of Srila Prabhupada. So in 20 pages you are reading, more or less you are reading 12 pages only. Maybe max 13, 14. It's very easy. Any other question? Behind.
actually when we are in the spiritual path, sometimes legitimacy comes.
Sometimes only. You are predominantly in the mode of goodness, I think. You have crossed another nivritti stage. You are in nishtha. Okay.
How to approach.
Laziness comes. We have to associate with those who are free from laziness. Those who are in the mode of goodness. Jaisa sang, vaisa rang. You may be feeling sleepy in reading Bhagavatam. So if some devotee you associate with, he will say, let us walk and read. Or you walk, I'll read while sitting. So when you are walking and hearing him read, you will not sleep. It requires little endeavor to overcome sleep. In chanting also, you are sleeping, somebody wakes you up, you should stand up or you should walk and chant. Walking and chanting is not in the mode of passion. It's in the mode of goodness. Fast walking and chanting is in the mode of passion. And very slow walking, you are feeling drowsy. You're walking also, you're sleeping also, you're chanting also. It's called a chanting and sleeping is called a chancing. So you're chancing also and you're walking also. So we have to work on it. Our Tukaram Maharaj of Maharashtra, he had daytime kirtan anyway in Vittal Mandir. So in the night also he wanted to do kirtan. But the sleep was attacking like anything. So he would feel drowsy and he was condemning himself, criticizing what nonsense. Why am I wasting my night in sleeping? So what to do? He would be doing bhajan with Veena and then while so he was wondering this is not good. What to do? So he tied his shikha with a rope and rope he tied to the bell in the temple. The portion like that. So when he would be doing kirtan in the night and somehow sleep would come and he would like that, then the pang and then he would get up. Like, again he would be doing bhajan for some time. Again after some time he would be feeling drowsy. When he would bend, immediately the bell would ring. Tang, like that. And like that, some 4 or 5 days he worked all nights and then he overcome sleep. Sleep. Then he did not sleep in the night also. All day kirtan, all night kirtan. He transcended, so to say, bodily platform. He is eternal associate of the Lord. So in Marathi there is saying Prayatnanti Parameshwar. At the end of Prayatna, endeavors, there is Parameshwar. Isn't it? Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a strong will, there is a strong way. Where there is a weak will, there is a weak way. Where there is no will, no way. Like that. So have will. Where does will come from? Sangat sanjayate kamaha. In association, we develop desires. So associate with devotees. Like that. So we have to exert ourselves. How many of you remember in your 12th class or for this IIT, JEE or whatever, you struggled like anything? You were kind of in the mood of conquering your sleep. Yeah, you must have worked hard, no? They have that night out in the hostel, isn't it? During exam, boys don't sleep in the night. They go in between for drinking tea so that they will be not feeling drowsy. They work so hard. So why can't we work hard to overcome our sleep? It's possible to overcome. Determination is required. Determination, desire comes in the association. Yes. Any other? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Bolo.
Prabhuji, I would have that, as you have said that to wrap up a lecture, we need to be pure-minded. But we are purely impure-minded. So how can we just wrap up?
You are purely, na? Because you are in pure association. So you work in that direction, you will be able to overcome. Whenever you offer devotional service to the Lord by becoming firmly attached to the instructions of a pure devotee, you perform pure devotional service. Though you are still impure, you are impure, but bhakti that you are rendering is pure devotional service because you are offering it through the medium of pure devotee spiritual master. Just to give an example, if you are cycling, or driving cycle, your speed may be 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. But while driving, if you catch hold on to a lorry, one hand on the handle and another, in India you must have seen, then you go with the speed of 50-60 kilometer per hour. You are cycle man only. Still your speed is very high because you are holding on to that. The moment you leave, immediately cycle will slow down again 10-20 kilometers per hour. So likewise, you have to do everything with that understanding. I do it for the pleasure of my guru. Then it becomes pure devotional service. So it's possible. So we are doing it for the pleasure of pure devotee spiritual master. So that time you are practicing pure devotional service, though you are impure. And then you again fall back to your impure lifestyle. Again, after some time, again you connect to the pure devotee spiritual master. Again, you are practicing pure devotional service. But then again, you fall back. So sometimes you are in pure devotional service, and sometimes you are impure. Then more and more you are practicing pure devotional service, and more and more and more and more, and ultimately all the time you are practicing pure devotional service only. And that time you are pure devotee. You will not understand, but you are pure devotee. Yes. What else?
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
what should be our mode like? So what is the title looks very and that but
Title looks very. Hold below. There you hold completely at the bottom. Hold like this at the bottom. Discharge only. Hare
Prabhuji, the book name is very interesting. Like it looks very nice, but when we go through the book, we find like not very interesting. But I want to know what could be the food of while reading book.
Mood is just to reciprocate with Prabhupada's sacrifice. He sacrificed his nighttime sleep to write these books. We can at least sacrifice daytime sleep to read these books. Reading is far more easier than writing books. Writing one page, publishing one page will take months, and reading that page will take hardly 2, 3, 5 minutes, like that. So, what was another part of your question? We don't find it interesting. You should read with some other devotee. Then what happens? It becomes Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Machchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya mam nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. When devotees converse about me with one another, then it becomes very relishable, Krishna says. So just read with one more devotee and then tell him what I read. Then he will share his points and it will become very relishable. You can preach it to others. First, you will not remember anything because your memory is not very strong. But next time onwards, when you read, your reading will be of with great remembrance also. So it becomes relishable. Make notes, point-wise notes. You make a flowchart diagram. We do it in engineering. So make flowchart of that page or that chapter. So it becomes very interesting. So many you can underline that, highlight the points. So many things. Slokas can be memorized. So like that, hundreds of things can be done by which it becomes very relishable. But topmost tip is associate with those who relish reading Prabhupada books. In their association, you will learn the technique of how to read, how it creates interest. It's very relishable. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. In the midst of devotees, we get invigorated with that ecstasy of discussing Krishna Katha. Yes. Hare Krishna.
I have a question that while reading Lilamrit, we feel very excited that this is a Prabhupada story. But at the same kind of mood does not come when we read other books of Srila Prabhupada.
Because philosophy is there. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, सिद्धांत बोलिया चित्ते ना को रे आलस यहाँ है ते कृष्ण लागी सुदृढ़ मानस. While studying the books, especially speaking the Siddhanta Boliya Chitte in the heart, Nokore Alas, don't be lazy. Yaha Haite, by this, Krishna Lagi, to Krishna, Sudrada Manas, your mind will become fixed on Krishna. If you read Siddhanta and speak it to others. When we are reading Lilamrit, it's like Katha, comics we read. It's like entertainment for the mind. But when we read philosophy, it's a stretch on the intelligence. My God, difficult to understand. But if you do that austerity, you are worshipping Krishna with your intelligence when you are reading Siddhanta. And then that is very pleasing to Krishna. He gives special mercy. Then you'll understand the truth thoroughly. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Tattvata means what? In truth. The science of Krishna has to be understood. किबा विप्र किबा न्यासी शूद्र के ने नोय जय कृष्ण तत्ववेत्ता सही गुरु है. Whether you are born Brahmin or Shudra or you are a sannyasi, doesn't matter. Jai Krishna Tattva one who knows the science of Krishna, Sai Guru hai. He's fit to be Guru. So science has to be understood. It's little austerity. Reading stories is very easy, Krishna book and all. But philosophy, you have to stretch your brain tissues, not by opening your brain, by going on reading. But it's very powerful. Once you do that austerity, your mind will become fixed on Krishna. The verses of Srimad Bhagwatam, Bhagavata, Chaitanya Charitamrita will continuously flow in your mind and you will be relishing it. Even if nobody is around, all alone, you'll enjoy it. Such amazing verses are there. So much rasa is there in that. Philosophy is also there, rasa is also there. First comes Krishna's greatness, then his sweetness is relishable. You don't ask what is the brand of the underwear of Prime Minister of India. This is too much intruding in his personal life, isn't it? So first comes the greatness of Prime Minister. My God, the whole India is under him. And somewhere flood or something, and he sanctions Odisha floods. Okay, 50,000 crore rupees sanctioned. 50,000 crore rupees. My God. So first you have to know greatness, and then the sweetness, which is his favorite dish, and then that brand of the in case you want to purchase that brand. That comes later. First greatness, then sweetness. First mahanta, then madhurta. So take that austerity a little bit. It will help you. Yes. Next question. Online? No. So ready for reading Bhagavatam? Tonight is also there. You can read all night also. But then morning also you should be awake. If not, then read for half an hour now and then take the rest. We'll end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी.
Let us thank Sundarshyam Guruji who gave a very enlightening lecture on the etiquettes of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and reading. So let us thank Guruji. The Lord is chanting 3 times. Hari Bol.
Etiquette is also to read Bhagavatam 1 hour minimum. So try to read. Hmm? Yeah, we'll get down. Okay, I'm going. Who wants Garland of the Lord? Okay, you come. Nobody comes. One who has intense greed, he only gets mercy. Record on करते हैं ना देखिए